I don't think people realize how good the 2026 Indiana Fever are going to be, and just how good the Indiana Fever would have been this year, fully healthy. And also, I'll talk about this in another video at some stage, but how good or how like much better it would have been had the Indiana Fever just gone out with Caitlin Clark in the playoffs, because I think they could. I think they could. Like the Indiana Fever's playoff roster, I'm just trying to count the numbers. It's one. So you've got the 17 players or something for the Fever. So their playoff roster is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've counted 11 players on their roster. They literally just could have put her on the roster. They've left the roster spot for no reason. For no reason at all. And like, whatever about the Aces, who are, I get it, the Aces went through a lot of form, but like the Fever are not going to beat the Lynx 4 out of 7. Like the Fever have to beat the Aces 2 out of 4, which is doable. It's definitely doable. I still think the Fever, I still think the Aces win this series. I hope the Fever win. But as far as prediction, my prediction is that the Aces win the series, because they go 3-1 the rest of the way. Yeah, I think the Aces can go 3-1. But at the end of the day, the Fever absolutely outplayed them, and every time I count out the Fever, they win. Every time I predict the Fever to lose, they win, and also every time I predict the Fever to win, they lose. So, I was so cursed. I was so cursed that I literally put on a Mercury jersey and immediately went on a 9-0 run. But yeah, it's one of those things that people don't realize how much better, as good as Kelsey Mitchell's been. I'm not going to say Caitlin Clark makes Kelsey Mitchell better, because that's not true. How much easier Caitlin Clark makes Kelsey Mitchell's life. Like, Kelsey Mitchell, obviously super player, but the easy shots that she gets from Caitlin Clark, that she has to create for herself right now. And not only that, like, how much better Aaliyah Boston is with Caitlin Clark. Like, Aaliyah's good. Aaliyah's an all-star. But Aaliyah goes from all-star to all WNBA level when Caitlin Clark is on the court. Genuinely. I've been seeing all these things being like Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell can't coexist. They literally averaged 50 points per game in the first 7 games post Olympic break last year. They averaged like 60 points a game. Say 50 points a game combined. 24.6 and 9 assists for Caitlin Clark on stupidly high shooting. Like, people don't realize how good these two players can play with each other. The problem is that it involves like a different it involves Kelsey Mitchell playing a different style. But at the end of the day, Kelsey Mitchell doesn't even or with her, Kelsey Mitchell is just a scorer. Like, you need scorers, by the way, but that's all. She's not a bad defender. But she absolutely is a scorer and a championship level top scorer. But her efficiency shoots up when you've got a Caitlin Clark beside her, and also how much Kelsey Mitchell's efficiency is going to go up when you've got the ability for Caitlin and Aaliyah to draw double teams and to draw rotations and to swing, and you've got good passers. And can you imagine when they swap out Natasha Howard for somebody else? Like Lexi Hull. Lexi Hull does all the little things. I don't mind. I don't like the Lexi Hull thing. I don't know if they're going to replace her. I think they're going to look to replace her. I don't know if they should, because Lexi is. There's not many players that work harder than Lexi Hull. I think she's limited offensively. I think she's limited defensively, as far as like her ability to stay in front of somebody. but she is genuinely the biggest hustle player in the league, and defense is 60% effort. And she is the best at that part of defense. So yeah, it really is a like a team that's so close to being good. It's a team that's so close, not even so close to being good. It's a team that is so close to being the championship contender, not a championship contender, the championship contender. And the thing is that like you've got players and coaches that are going to be moving around in this offseason. You've got an offseason where everyone's a free agent. The Indiana Fever, if the Indiana Fever want to, they can keep their starting five. Or, sorry, they can keep their core four. They can keep their core four no matter what. There's nothing you can do. There is nothing, like, the Indiana Fever can have Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah, and Caitlin under contract next year. No matter what. There is no way a team can swoop them up in free agency. So for me, anyway, that is an important one. Like, there is absolutely, like, there is no way to get rid of that four. And with that core four together, especially because I think Lexi's going to take a cheap contract. I think Sophie's coming back. I think Howard's coming back, but I think Howard has to come back off the bench. When you bring back Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, like, everybody's saying, oh, you know, Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on the Fever. I don't think she is. She's the best scorer on the Fever. And I absolutely am fine with Kelsey Mitchell, with most offenses being ran to Kelsey Mitchell. And the one thing is that Kelsey Mitchell has improved immensely as a pick and roll playmaker. I don't think she's a transition playmaker. I don't think she's an all-around playmaker. I don't think that she's got the ability to, you know, like, kind of, like, she doesn't run the show like Caitlin Clark does. But I'm fine with Caitlin Clark being the Magic Johnson and Kelsey Mitchell being the player to end the plays. Like, I'm fine with Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah combining for 31 points per game and Kelsey Mitchell scoring 22 points a game. Because Kelsey scored over 20, didn't she, this year? This is obviously a career year. But we can't forget, like, last season was actually, Kelsey Mitchell scored better last season than this season. Last season, Kelsey Mitchell showed up injured and was averaging like 14 points per game through 15 games. And then ended up averaging 19.2 points per game. Like, Kelsey Mitchell, second half of last season was better than she was this season with Caitlin Clark. And there is no way that Kelsey Mitchell ends up regressing. But I'm fine if it turns out that, you know, Kelsey averages 20. I thought originally, I was like, you know what, Caitlin's might average 22, 23 a game. I'm okay with Caitlin averaging 16 and 10 assists a game. Like, that's an MVP. That's still an MVP candidate. But could you imagine having two players that can complement each other so well that they both can be MVP candidates? There is a world where Caitlin Clark averages 16 and 10 or 17 and 10 and Kelsey Mitchell averages 22 points per game and Aaliyah Boston averages 14, 9, and 5 assists, where you have three players offensively who don't get in each other's way at their, like, the only time anyone gets in each other's way is Kelsey Mitchell ISO ball affects Aaliyah Boston negatively, and it affects Caitlin Clark negatively. But Kelsey Mitchell off the ball as a late shot clock ISO player and a late game ISO player, that player doesn't get in Caitlin Clark's way. That player doesn't get in Aaliyah Boston's way. And there is a world where the Indiana Fever are a top 2 or 3 team with 3 MVP candidates at the same time, which is near impossible. It is a near impossible thing that these players can't get in each other's way. The last time it really happened was probably the Ace 2022 Aces, maybe, when Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, and Aja Wilson they just kind of fit in together. But then Jackie Young obviously was unbelievable last season as well. How many Aces players made the 2022 All WNBA teams? Because that was 2023 the year when 2022 two Aces players made the first team and Chelsea Gray just took over in the playoffs. So 2 all WNBA players. Then Kelsey Plum didn't make either of the teams in 2023. Aja Wilson did, and then it was Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray that year. But yeah, it is going to be one of those things that the Fever are going to be scary, and everyone's being like, "Oh, this is Kelsey Mitchell's team now." No, this is, as long as Caitlin Clark plays on the Indiana Fever, it is Caitlin Clark's team. And if it's not Caitlin Clark's team, you trade Caitlin Clark, because if you want to make this Kelsey Mitchell's team, you trade Caitlin Clark. Why? Because let's just say hypothetically, you want to build around Kelsey Mitchell, and you want to build this like Iverson shooting defenders, 3-and-D players around Kelsey Mitchell. This this like Philadelphia 76ers 2001 team, then that's cool. That's cool. You go during next season, you go to, screw it, let's just say hypothetically, the Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx go and use the core and trade on Kayla McBride. Or heck, you call up Kurt Miller and go, give us Paige Bueckers and your top 2 pick, and we'll give you Caitlin Clark. And if they want to make this Caitlin Paige or a team that runs through Kelsey Mitchell on Kelsey Mitchell's team, they'd be idiots not to do that. They'd be idiots not to trade Paige, because I think Paige Bueckers, the way the Fever are playing today, Paige Bueckers suits more than Caitlin Clark. Like that's fine. Like it's fine to admit that, because with high usage Kelsey Mitchell, you want a player that's cool with that's better off the ball than Caitlin Clark is off the ball. Like Caitlin Clark's not a great off the ball player, so you want to have Kelsey as your primary creator. You go and trade, and that's probably the only trade that I think the Indiana Fever would probably consider. Is maybe like a Paige and a first pick, which I think the Dallas Wings make. They make that trade, but realistically, until Caitlin Clark retires, this is Caitlin Clark's team. This is absolutely Caitlin Clark's team. There's no question about that. Like it's obviously just what it is. But this can be like, you can have a team that's ran through Caitlin Clark, but they run everything to Kelsey Mitchell. She can score more points. And then when Aaliyah Boston is suddenly able to start getting her open looks again from Caitlin Clark passes, yeah, the Fever are going to be fucking good next year, just like they would have been borderline contenders this year. Heck, I even think a Caitlin Clark, a 70% Caitlin Clark off the bench in these playoffs gives them a great chance at championship, but that can't happen. Anyway, see you guys.